The wind moves without purpose, without direction. Or maybe it carries whispers of thoughts too quiet for the world to hear. I've always wondered, are we just drifting, searching for meaning in the void, or do we create it ourselves? This is Windy Words of Parsa, a quiet space for those who think too much, feel too deeply, and find beauty in the unanswered. Here, we wander through poetry, philosophy, and fleeting moments, not to find truth, but to embrace the questions themselves. So stay a while, let's lose ourselves, and maybe in the wind, we'll find something worth holding on to. Or maybe we'll just let it go. As a starter, we want to say how and why we do multitasking. First of all, it's about responsibilities. We need to get our things done. Another reason is for ourselves to improve, because without making efforts, we cannot improve at all. So we see where it comes from. Making ourselves busy and even doing multitasking in order to get more things done, because in the age that we are in, it's definitely a must to be so busy and there are too many things to do. It's also because of social pressure in the media, and even the society tells us that we should do more and more and more. We should get our feet into the doors of work, job, studying, improving. Everybody just shows that and believes that if we do more, we are a better person. We are a more successful person. We are Sigma and whatever. In a whole nother episode, I discussed and reflected on how being busy is tearing us apart and making us far from our dreams and goals. But that's another episode, and you can go watch it after this episode maybe. But right now we're not gonna repeat so much from that episode, because why not? We can do a lot. We can multitask and help other people. So the society and the upper class needs workers. They need simple people to do regular stuff and get busy with unimportant and non-crucial stuff, for them to get more power, more people that are working towards what they want. And let's be honest, how much of rich, powerful, impactful people does the world need? Which one do you choose? Do you want to be someone who works towards the dreams of another person, or do you want to be someone who is actually important, him or herself? That's your choice. Let's give some time to the boredom to prove it to ourselves. And let's see what boredom actually is. But before that, we want to see why should we prioritize vital goals. Certainly by multitasking, we are not prioritizing. Maybe we are prioritizing 2 or 3 things at the same time. However, by prioritize, I mean full focus on something. So we should prioritize to be able to create the better thing we want for ourselves or for the people we love, and maybe the whole society and history of human beings. The more vital something is, it requires more attention from us. And monotasking is the answer to that. When we do one single task at once, it actually takes all our focus on it, and then we can do it better. So if we want to be the best at something or in somewhere, we need to put our full focus onto doing one single task instead of multitasking. So now I have a question. Do the important people or the rich people that you admire so much always show you otherwise? Do you think that Elon Musk actually does a lot of things at the same time, or does he choose a period of time in his life to do one thing so perfectly? Which one do you think made him successful among all the other people around him? Some of them actually show you that you have to do multitasking, or some of them behave in a way that you get the idea that they are doing anything and everything at the same time. However, we definitely know, both you and I, that nobody shows their failures, things that are behind the scene. Even if they pretend that they are showing you, or even if they talk about it verbally, you're not going to believe. Because your mind goes into somewhere and thinks that, how can I get that good if I am not the best at everything? So right now I'm making a podcast. It doesn't mean that I have to do the best lighting, I have to have the best audio quality, and I do have to have the best camera and editing. All of them cannot be done at the same time. So I need to put focus on one thing at a time. For example, I am right now trying to improve what I'm talking about. I'm trying to put more time on researching about things, and maybe even at the beginning I need to do a little bit of everything, but my focus is fully on the script that I'm talking to you with, and what makes our podcast a place for you to spend time on with me. Now, boredom that we wanted to talk about here just shows you what is missed in your life and what you have forgotten in your life. It helps you to remember what your main goals were, and therefore you can start working on them harder and reducing your energy. Some believed that boredom turns into something that we call as melancholy in the past, or maybe even now these days. Something that we call melancholy, which is viewed as an illness. However, it should be treated like a sin that needs to be cured. So if we, from my own perspective, if we cure that melancholy part of boredom, we can use it to think and reflect and improve and choose what is more important to us. Dorothy Parker in the 20th century says that the cure for boredom is curiosity. Curiosity is what brings you creativity and can make your mind free in order to see new ideas, in order to find more ways to deal with everything that is hard and might seem to you as a struggle. Elpidora suggests that escaping boredom doesn't mean that we are escaping it towards something better. He believes that boredom is associated with risk-seeking behaviors, but it, on the other hand, catalyzes creativity. So it's understood also in the medieval period as something that happens when a demonic force overpowers you. It was like a misfortune, like something that gets to you and destroys you. However, we clearly can see how boredom can help us with the creativity that comes to us from being bored so much that our mind needs to create new ways for us. Now let's get a little bit into the details of pros and cons of multitasking. Of course, everything has some pros also on the other side of it, if we want to be fair. When you multitask, you can do more. Definitely, no doubt in that. But you should beware and choose what you want mainly in your life. Then it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Definitely, if we do more things and we see that we are so powerful and able to do a lot of things, especially at the same time, we are going to feel more satisfied. However, this satisfaction is not something that gives us a lot of hope in our lives, because the outcomes of this kind of trying and making efforts is different with prioritizing something and become great at it. Of course, you have always heard that some people are good at everything but not great at something. It even makes us to be able to improve our time management. So for some small things and for some special times and periods we create for unimportant, less important things, it definitely helps us and may give us a lot of good results in some aspects of our lives. But the downsides, it brings us anxiety. Doing too much tasks make our heart beat faster and gets us tired faster. So by doing some things at the same time, let's say in the morning, then in the afternoon we don't have that energy and enough energy to do something else. So again, our productivity might not stay the same. And this exhaustion of doing too much can and will definitely damage your mental health, your maybe physical health, and it messes up with your happiness. By doing too much, the time when I was thinking that multitasking helps a lot, I did so much things, but after a while I was sensing that I am not happy anymore, because you are so used to doing these things, and one reason is that you forget what is the most important thing to you, and also because of all that stress you have, you might even change your sleep routine and a lot of other things that I'm not going to go into the details of right now, because we are not going to discuss that much in detail, and something else is our main focus here. But in my first episode at Windy Words of Parsa, I said that how this had gotten away my happiness and made me separated from others, which killed my hope and really happiness. You can go and watch that or maybe listen to that. Another thing is that you escape and run away from confronting emotions and thoughts, which are so important for your spiritual health and your mental health. If you're lonely, you get yourself busy with doing a lot of things, which gives you satisfaction at the end of the day, but it keeps you away from your problems. And this is not gonna last forever. One day it's gonna come to you again. That feeling of loneliness, that feeling of lost hope and sadness. That is why we say that you need to confront your problems, particularly the problems that are spiritual. You need at least understanding them, if not solving the problems, or if not curing them. You need to understand it, and running away from it is not the answer. Gary Keller, in a book called The One Thing, wrote that multitasking is the silent killer of greatness. The human mind wasn't made to split its lights like a broken glass, while multitasking is what sharpens us. Nirayal, in the book called Indistractable, says that the real reason we multitask is an escape. We do multitasking to escape. An escape from discomfort, from boredom, from the silence of our own minds. But true productivity starts with facing that silence. That was all from me now, and the frame fades, but the feeling stays. I am Parsa, and if this spoke to your